Hi there. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Tia Moore. I'm a real estate agent in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am with the Nextview Home Professionals team. So, chances are that you clicked on this video because you're curious about what it is like to purchase your first home. Perhaps you've done a Google search and you're getting a ton of information, but it's all very general and it's not specific to your needs. Well, the good news is we're going to dive really deep into what you can expect and what is most important for you when you're purchasing your first home. So whether you're in the beginning of this process or whether you're, on the cusp of, you're right in the middle of your transaction, hopefully this video will be a great tool for you so that you can negotiate the best deal for you once you do get to the point where you're purchasing a home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my screen. So I'm going to go through everything with you point by point. It's about 7 tips that will definitely give you enough information where you will feel like a professional. Whether you are working with a realtor or not, you'll have enough information that you can, you'll feel confident in your home purchase. So give me just a second. I'm going to switch my screen. I'm hoping I don't have any technical difficulties, but just give me 1 second and let me share that with you. Okay. Let's see. All right. So hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. It'll say using 7 first-time home buyer strategies like a pro. And like I said, we're going to just dive deep into, why you should act now if you are thinking about purchasing a home. We're going to talk about your research and what kind of research you should do and explain to you what's important, understanding the big 3 strategies. We're going to talk about buying imperfect homes. For example, if you're thinking about buying a fixer-upper and what the benefits are to buying a fixer-upper versus purchasing something that is move-in ready. We're going to talk about the most important items to negotiate when you're purchasing your home, the features you want to consider of your first home. And then we're going to talk about your future and how purchasing your first home can truly set you up on a pathway to wealth in your future. So without further ado, let's get started. So ultimately, most people are nervous when they purchase their first home. There are a couple of people in the world that may not necessarily be nervous, but that's usually because they have a ton of information. Like I said before, the nice thing is you're here, you're starting this video, and I honestly believe once you finish this video, you will feel very confident in going forward in your home purchasing decision. Okay. So ultimately, what I'd like to know from you guys is, you think about this, is this your first home? Are you thinking about purchasing your second home? Maybe it's been a really long time since you made a home purchase and you're just trying to figure out what has changed since you've done that. Recently worked with a couple and they bought their first home 43 years ago and they have not bought 1 cent. Our market is a little bit different here in Phoenix. People, move every 5 to 7 years. So it's a little bit different for us in most cases, but, just think about what it is that you need. It's just a little Maya Angelou quote: the ache for home lives in all of us. So whatever home means to you is how you're going to understand that. So chances are that if you are thinking about purchasing a home for the first time, chances are you're currently paying a landlord, or perhaps you are in a different situation and you're trying to figure out, should you rent or should you purchase a home? Well, ultimately, in most cases, it's going to be much more lucrative for you to purchase a home now. It'll be a smart investment choice for you to purchase a home versus renting over a long period of time. Ultimately, if you rent a house, you're paying the mortgage for a landlord. You are paying so that they can park their investment vehicle. You get to drive it, but yet they're going to reap all the benefits of the equity in the home. So make sure that you start planning, you stay informed, because you want to make sure you get the best deal and you purchase at the right time. Okay. We want to talk about your research. What should you expect? Should you hire a realtor? Can you do it without a realtor? 100%, we are going to recommend that you do hire an experienced professional before you go and start looking at homes. When you hire a great realtor, they are going to consult with you and help you be able to make the best decision that fits your family. Hiring a real estate agent early is going to save you a ton of time because you're not going to go and look at 500 houses before you go ahead and make a decision. Because ultimately, if you take too long to look for a house, or you're not looking at the right things, or you don't have the right information, that can ultimately help you. That can also ultimately make you lose money. Okay. So the other thing is your realtor, once you hire them, they're going to have a really good understanding of most areas. So they're going to be able to get you information about neighborhoods. They're going to be able to send you listings that are in your desired area and truly help you narrow down your focus based on what it is that you want and what you need. We all have access to look at homes. We can go to realtor.com. We can go to Zillow. But ultimately, there are listings that are available to real estate agents through the multiple listing service that may not necessarily be available to you on those websites. I can tell you right now, I have multiple properties that are available for sale that are not currently listed on the MLS or realtor.com or Zillow or anything else. We kind of we call it a pocket listing. So those properties will sell, but you want to make sure that you're in business with a great professional that's going to have access to all of those things. So it's definitely a benefit for you. Sorry about that. It's definitely a benefit to you if you work with a real estate agent early that can help you explore listings. Even if you don't quite know which neighborhood you want to be in, at least they can get some of the specifics down to you and cast a wide net so you can start looking at things that are specific to your needs. The other thing they're going to be able to help you do is help you get familiar with loan programs. You want to know all of your options up front because, again, you're in your research stage, so you want to have that information. So you want to know about loan programs, down payment assistance. You want to understand all of these things before you make a decision. The number one thing I see is people come in with that may not have an open mind. You know, maybe a friend of theirs purchased a home. Maybe a relative purchased a home. It could have been 5 years ago. It could have been 10 years ago. And they have their specific experience, but it may not be what the experience will be today. So again, make sure that you talk to a professional so that you know exactly what to expect in today's market. Because every single day the market changes and it's not going to be what it was yesterday. And it's not going to be what it was, certainly not 5 or 10 years ago. All right, so the big three. What are the big three things you should consider when purchasing your home? I know everybody hears it, location, location, location. It may sound like a cliche, but it is the number one thing that people consider when they are purchasing a home. And when we talk location, we're thinking, where are you going to be? How close is it to work? How close is it to highway access? How close is it to schools? Is it in a good school district? Is it in a bad school district? All those things do matter. You want to talk about affordability. Can you afford the home? Right? Is it a smart decision? What is the situation with the utilities? For example, here in Arizona, there are some communities that, you may get a house at a very low price, but you also may have to pay extra money for fire services. You may have to pay extra money if you want to have your home monitored through an alarm system. There's a lot of different scenarios that can come into play that you may not necessarily find in a simple Google search, but your experienced real estate agent that has sold many homes and had many transactions is going to have a good understanding of what you can expect. The other thing to consider is size. What size home do you want? What size home do you need? What size home is going to play a significant role in your resale in the future? When you're thinking about location, like I said before, you want to consider, what is the community like? Does it fit your needs for what you want and what's important for you or other people that may be living in the home? What does the commute look like to work if you're currently working? What is it like? What is the proximity to hospitals and schools? What is expected as far as future development? For example, you may not want to purchase a home and there's going to be a highway that's going to be built behind the home that you're purchasing. There's so many factors to consider and to understand when you're thinking about location. All right. And like I said, affordability. Affordability is impacted by the location of the home, the size of the home, the upgrades, the amenities of the neighborhood. Perhaps there's a neighborhood that has a community pool. Perhaps you want a private pool in your backyard. All of those things will determine and drive the price of the property. So location and affordability is going to be different. And a little bit later on, we'll walk you through what you can get in certain cities here in Maricopa and Pinal County so that you can get an idea of what a couple of $100,000 gets you. Size and location, again, those are the number one drivers, or top three drivers, I should say, in regards to finding your home. So again, this is a conversation you're going to want to have with your real estate agent. Maybe you're thinking about buying a fixer-upper. Nothing wrong with that. A fixer-upper is a great option to consider. One thing you want to stay away from is, I know on HGTV, they make it sound amazing and perfect and like everything goes perfectly right. Now, there are some shows that show how it doesn't always go right and you end up spending a lot of money. But ultimately you want to make sure you have the time to be able to spend within that fixer-upper. Meaning, if you're planning on doing all the work yourself to make it your dream home, do you have the time and do you have the resources to be able to make those upgrades? Or to make those modifications to the home that you need, right? So just remember to consult with your professional or somebody that you trust so that you can, make the best decision for you. But, consider, are you okay with minor repairs or do you want to do a major renovation? All those things are, your life and your lifestyle are huge things to consider when you're making that decision. All right, so I said we were going to talk to you about what you could purchase with a couple of $100,000 in any given city. So we're gonna use the sample size of $300,000, and we're going to look at the city of Gilbert. So in Gilbert today, you can purchase for $300,000. You can purchase a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home that's about 1,500 square feet with a pool for $300,000. Not bad, right? It looks like it's in a pretty decent neighborhood. That's what you can get in Gilbert. In Mesa, you can get for $300,000, you can get a 4-bedroom home, 2 bathrooms, and 1,831 square feet. So a little bit bigger. If you look at the house, it's a little bit bigger, but it may not necessarily be as updated as that first house here in Gilbert. See the difference? Like this Mesa home, it doesn't have a pool, but again, it is bigger. So remember we said a few slides ago that the size and the location do drive price. So again, you're getting 1 extra bedroom and additional square footage for $300,000, but you may not necessarily get all of the same amenities that you'd get in a smaller home in a different city. Looking at Phoenix, this is at Camelback and Central. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home, and it's 960 square feet. Okay, 960 square feet. They are selling a guest home for that price. So if being right there in the center of Phoenix and you want an actual house is really important to you, that's how much you're going to have to spend to get it. Okay, so that's the stark difference between Phoenix, Mesa, and Gilbert. Let's take a look at Queen Creek. So going out to Queen Creek, still at $300,000. This home looks to be upgraded. You have the wood look tile. You have granite countertops. The white cabinets are really popular right now. Kitchen island, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and it's 2,100 square feet, 2,105 square feet. So I'm going to go back and take a look at that Gilbert home, 1,524 square feet. That Mesa home, 1,831 square feet. Phoenix, 960 square feet guest house, and Queen Creek, going back to it, 2,105 square feet. Right? So it's a big difference. Let's look at Maricopa. Maricopa, for the same amount of money, you can buy a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home, and it's 3,721 square feet. 3,721 square feet. 2-story home. It's huge. It looks like it has a 3-car garage. Yeah, it does have a 3-car garage, nice yard. So that's what you can get in Maricopa. Looking at Scottsdale, this is actually a condo for $300,000. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's 1,264 square feet. So again, like we said before, location, size, all these things as far as what is most important to you are going to come into account. So for example, if a yard is really important to you, a Scottsdale condo may not be the best decision, but this home in Surprise for $300,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,022 square feet could be a good fit for you. And if it is, if the house meets all the criteria, the biggest question for you is going to be, can I handle the commute? What is the proximity to my work or my hobbies or the things that are important to me? What is the school district like in this particular neighborhood? So those are going to be things that you think about when you're looking at a home. So I hope giving you an overview of those particular areas and kind of what you can get for that money is of assistance to you as you're exploring your home search. So now we're going to talk about negotiations, the contract, what's important. So ultimately, there are going to be components in a negotiation that can make or break a deal. In our market here in Arizona, it's June 2019. If this, assuming this video is around a year from now, it can be a completely different story. But as of today, our market is really, really competitive. So how you write and present an offer is extremely important in whether or not you will actually get the home. So make sure that as you're talking to your realtor, they give you a full understanding of what to expect. Not all markets throughout the valley are as competitive. Some markets are more competitive than others. Gilbert is extremely competitive. Queen Creek is extremely competitive. So it's, different zip codes, different cities, and different locations within those cities, neighborhoods specifically, can be very competitive and very different. They can have completely stark differences in what is going to be most important to a seller in one area versus another. So again, when you're hiring a trained professional, somebody that sells a lot of real estate in the market, they're going to be able to give you that clear understanding. Okay, so here's some of the things that are typically negotiated. So what you're going to notice first that's not listed in here is price. Ultimately, because I think all of us know that the price is negotiable. The seller is going to list the house for something and hopefully they're willing to negotiate, but that's going to be the buyer's prerogative. Ultimately, the market is driven based on how much a buyer is willing to pay for a home and how much a seller is willing to accept. So always remember that. So let's talk about closing costs. Closing costs are negotiable. The amount of earnest deposit is negotiable. The appliances, inspection, and appraisal. So you guys can see what those things mean here on the screen, but I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what we usually see in our market. For example, seller paid closing costs, depending on the city, you may not, and in today's market, again, in today's market, you may not get very much in closing costs unless you're going to pay a little bit more for the house to kind of offset the cost for the seller. So you're not going to see a lot of that, but there are some areas where we are still seeing seller paid closing costs. But again, it is very competitive. So if closing costs are something that's very important to you, definitely speak to your realtor and figure out what alternatives can be made in order to offset the cost of your closing costs that are necessary. We have some resources available. My team has resources available that will be able to show you what options are available so that you're not taken out of the market because you may not have additional closing cost money. Understand how much your earnest deposit is going to be before you go and start looking at homes and before you start making offers. The worst thing that can possibly happen is that you fall in love with a home just as you're browsing, and then for some reason you can't get it because you didn't know how much your expenses were. So that's one of the reasons why we say always speak to a professional before you start to shop. I would hate for heartbreak to discourage you from ever purchasing a home and prevent you from saving the money and putting it away and investing in your future for later. A lot of people always ask us the question, oh, does that refrigerator come with the house? All appliances are negotiable in Arizona. Even if it says it, if it's not in your contract, it is not part of the deal. So it's important that if you do make an offer on a home, that you specifically write in the appliances that you wish to convey. And of course, the seller would have to agree to those. In Arizona, our standard time frame for inspection is usually about 10 days. You're looking for major items that could be high dollar fixes for you if you do decide to move forward with the home. You're not looking for, there's a marker, on the door. You're not looking for little things like that, but you're looking for things that are going to cost you a ton of money. And the nice thing is, if you are using financing, you can have you're going to have an independent appraisal because a mortgage lender is going to require it. And so you know you're not going to overpay for the home. All right, so we're talking about key home features. So what is most important to you? It's going through, one of the things that I like the most about our team is that we do an extensive consultation and we ask you about your lifestyle. We ask you about what your needs are, what your wants are, and we separate those and we make sure we get a clear understanding of what it is that you need and what's going to be most important, so that once you move into the home, you're happy with it, you're secure, and it is functional for you. So that's one of the most important reasons why we do the home buyer consultation. But it's important for you to understand, what can you absolutely not live without, right? For example, let's say there are 7 people that are planning to live in the house. Well, the last thing you may not want 2 bedrooms, right? So 4, 5, 6, 7 bedrooms may be a non-negotiable item for you. Perhaps, I don't know, let's say perhaps you have to have, a single story home. Maybe stairs are not an option. Those things are extremely important to understand, that is considered a need and not necessarily a want. Maybe you need to have a hot tub because you have joint issues and you need to go in and you need to, get some of the therapy. Who knows? But we need to understand what your needs are. And it's important that you know what they are so that you can communicate to us so that we can help you in the best way possible. What about a pool? Do you want a pool? Do you not want a pool? A lot of people ask us, well, how much does it increase the value of our home? My answer is always, it depends. The reason it depends is going to be dependent on the neighborhood. So we're here in Arizona. A lot of homes own pools or have pools built in the backyard. So let's say, for example, you're in a neighborhood, every single house has a pool and not yours. That's going to decrease your value. Let's say there's 500 homes in the neighborhood and only 5 homes have pools. That's probably going to give you more value than another neighborhood where every single home has a pool. If every single home has a pool and we're comparing apples to apples, it may be a wash. There may not be any additional value. However, it may cost you $30,000 to put in the pool and it's only been 2 years since you built it. You're not going to see $30,000 back. So I always tell my clients, in most cases, it's best to purchase a home that already has a pool built into it. Somebody else has already taken that expense. Go forward and purchase the house that has the pool. Excuse me. Are you interested in living in a neighborhood that doesn't have an HOA? Or do you want an HOA so that you can make sure there are rules that are enforced in regards to how the neighborhood is kept? If those things are important to you, you want to know it before you start doing your home search. Get an idea of what areas have HOAs and what amenities are included and which ones do not, and get a feel for what those neighborhoods look like. Okay? Think about your future, right? So things we always tell our clients to consider is, how long will you be in the home, right? Do you live in the home? Is it going to be just you? Will you be planning on getting married in a year? Will there be children that will live in the home in the future? Perhaps you're expecting a child now. How will it feel with extra people living in that home? That's important, because let's say, for example, you're buying a home today, but in 1 year, there's going to be 3 additional people in that home. Maybe you might need to buy something a little bit bigger and think of those people in mind. Or when you're doing a home inspection, bring all those people to the house with you, or at least that number of people, to feel how it feels having that many people in the house and if it really fits you. That pretty much talks about your future needs. Let's talk about equity building, right? What are your needs going to be in the future? Maybe you purchase a small home today because that's what's affordable, and maybe you only need a small amount of space. In the future, how can you best use that equity for an investment? Do you sell the home and use the equity you gain to move into a better home, a bigger home, or a different neighborhood? Perhaps you invest the money into remodeling that existing home, or perhaps you keep the home and you take the equity and you purchase another home, but you use that as a rental property for additional income. Okay. There's so many different options, and you want to make sure that you work with somebody that is not just your partner, not work with a realtor that is not just your partner in purchasing that home, but it's going to help you set yourself up for the next 5, 10, 15 years. Because a great real estate agent is going to help you make a great decision, and they're going to help you put money in your pocket for sure. Okay. So you may be asking your question, okay, is it the right time to buy? Should I buy a house now? What things should I look at? Bottom line is, or should you maybe asking, maybe I should keep renting for 3 years, 5 years, 6 years. The biggest reason that you want to purchase a home is so that you can stabilize your monthly expense, right? So for example, the average rent right now in Maricopa County is about $1,624, right? You can purchase a home at about a $260,000 home for that same price. And in 5 years, you will likely acquire about $35,000 in equity with just reasonable, conservative appreciation. I'm going to say that one more time. Based on the market today, if you purchased a home at $260,000, in about 5 years, that home will appreciate at about $35,000. Right? So, and again, that's a conservative number. There are some cities currently in the Valley that are seeing 8 and 9% appreciation rates. It's crazy. And I'm happy to tell you about those areas. Again, it changes all the time. So you'll want to make sure you contact me directly, and I'm happy to provide you with that information. Number 2, building equity. There's 2 ways you build equity. 1, by appreciation, and 2, by paying down the principal of your mortgage. So, purchasing a home now, the quicker you'll be able to, the faster you'll be able to start building equity and seeing the appreciation for your property. The other benefit is here in Arizona right now, particularly in our Maricopa and Pinal counties, home values are increasing. If you purchase now, you'd be able to purchase a home at a lower price versus if you wait a year, it's likely going to, depending on the area, between 6 and 8%, it's going to increase. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. And the other benefit is, in many cases, you'll be able to write off the mortgage interest, and you'll be able to save more money with taxes. Phoenix is growing. People are coming here every day. It's a great place to live, work, and play. So it's a very attractive location to a lot of people all over the country. So we want to get in now if you're thinking about purchasing, so that you can secure the price that is going to be most conducive for your lifestyle, right? So in these numbers, it says $26,256. It says the cost of postponing your home purchase is about $70,681, and then gained equity in about 5 years is $26,256. Again, that was taking an extremely conservative number. Looking at where our numbers are as of today, I just looked at Cromford, and it's literally about $35,000 over a 5-year period. So again, that number is really conservative. So not only are you losing equity, you're also paying for another mortgage. That's a lot of money that you're leaving on the table. Perhaps you're like, okay, I want to make the jump. I want to go ahead and purchase a home. I got to start saving for a down payment. That's great thinking. The best thing to do, even if you're not going to sell within a year, talk to a realtor, talk to your loan officer, and find out what your price point will likely be. And what I mean by that is they're going to do a consultation with you, and they're going to look at what your income is, where you want to live, and they're going to tell you what you would qualify in terms of a mortgage. The other thing they're going to take into account is how much do you want to pay? Because what you're approved for versus what you're comfortable in paying are going to be 2 different things. And so, don't be afraid to stick with your guns and say, you know what? This is how much I'm willing to spend on my housing, and I feel comfortable with it because I don't want to overextend myself. Tell me what I can buy based on this conservative figure, right? Or not necessarily even a conservative figure, but a figure that you're comfortable with. And so again, your realtor can recommend a great lending partner for you, and they can give you some different tips on or some advice on how much your price point would be. And the reason you need to know your price point is because that's going to help you figure out what your down payment is going to be. If you don't know how much you're spending, you won't know how much you need to save. The loan officer is going to be able to tell you if you need to put down 3%, 5%, 10%, 20%, 25%. They'll be able to give you a a very solid plan on what options are available to you so that you can choose what you're most comfortable with. Different tips for saving, reducing your expenses in your budget. A lot of people go to Starbucks every single morning, $4 to $6 a day. That really does add up over a year's time. That can help you save some money. Maybe you can take on like a little side hustle, a side job, and earn some additional income doing something that you like to do, or take a hobby and turn that into an income generator so that you can save up money. If you are currently contributing to maybe a 401k or invest any other type of investments, you can pause those investments until you have saved up enough money for your down payment. If you have any high interest rate debts, contact those creditors to see if they can reduce your interest, because sometimes that can reduce your payment. If you reduce your payment, you have more money to save toward your down payment. There's so many different apps that you can use to track how much you're spending, so you can see, okay, am I overspending in certain areas? And that'll give you a really good idea on where you should save. I am going to introduce you guys to one of my preferred loan officers. Let's see, I'm going to, I don't want to mess up the screen, so bear with me for a second. But I'm going to show you a quick video. I work with the Oliver Whalen team at Nova Home Loans, and they are amazing to work with. It's Justin, Ryan, Chris, Carmen, Carly, Shaylee, and Johnny. It's such a great team to work with. And this is just a quick video that Chris put together.
Lender in the Home Plus and Home.
I'm going to start it over.
Hi, I'm Chris Callan with the Oliver Whalen team at Nova Home Loans. Nova Home Loans is a participating lender in the Home Plus and Home and 5 down payment assistance programs. These programs are still available and offer assistance up to 7% in a fully forgivable second mortgage. The income limit for these programs goes up to just over $105,000 annually and do require a minimum credit score of 640. The great thing about these programs is they do not require you to be a first-time home buyer. If you have any questions about the program or want to get started, please give us a call at 480-821-2577. Thanks and have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. So like I said before, the Oliver Whalen team, they're awesome. One of the reasons I like working with them is because when they go over the consultation with you, you're gonna know exactly where you stand. Not only do they go over your income and your expenses very thoroughly, they have it reviewed by an underwriter before you even start looking for a house. So before they give you a figure and a pre-approval figure, they make sure that an underwriter has looked at it. So that way you don't have any surprises down the road should you go and find a house and you want to make an offer on it. So they're absolutely amazing to work with. The 2 loan programs that Chris mentioned on the video, those are not the only down payment assistance options, but those are the 2 most popular right now that people are taking advantage of. And again, that's if you decided to go for some type of down payment assistance. Just know that those options are available, and there's different things that you can do so that you can move forward with the purchase. The reason I bring this up as an option is because sometimes, let's say you're 2 years out from being able to save your money. Sometimes using a down payment assistance program could be a good option, because if the home prices are going to increase to a rate that's going to box you out of a specific location that is important to you, then you could lose out. And so maybe a down payment assistance option could be a good opportunity for you to get in where you need to move into a home where you need to be. We had a woman that specifically wanted to be in a certain school district for her children, but she really wanted to take the time to save up for her down payment. 2 years had gone by, home prices increased at a rate that she was priced out of the neighborhood. So she wasn't able to purchase in a neighborhood where she wanted her kids to be in school. And ultimately they had to move school districts, or she had to keep renting. So it can be a tough situation. Again, that's why it's important to have a really solid team so that, everybody can help consult you on what options are available to you based on what's most important for you and everybody in your household. Like I said, I'm on the Nextview Home Professional team. My name is Tia Moore. I work with Fabi L. She is an amazing buyer's specialist. You come in, you meet with us, or you call us and you ask questions, there's a great chance you're going to be meeting with Fabi. We have Samantha Battles. She is our team operations, everything. We could not do a fantastic job for our clients without Samantha. She put together all of this information for you guys today. So if you have an opportunity to tell, if you like what you see, make sure that you thank Samantha in our comments, because I think she did a really great job with it. But again, we are a team of professionals that would love to help you with your home purchase, whether you are you're just curious right now, you just have some questions and you want to know where to find additional information, you can feel confident in reaching out to us, and we're happy to just answer those questions. We are not a high pressure team. We love to provide you guys with information. And if should you decide to work with us, we make it our mission to make sure that you have an amazing home buying experience. So if you need to get a hold of us, feel free to give us a call at 480-281-3078. That information will be in the notes. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can always even email us at info@nextviewre.com. That's info at nextviewre.com. So you can send us an email with any questions you have, and feel free to comment on these notes and let us know if the information was valuable to you, or if you have follow-up questions. We're happy to answer them there for you as well. We have a great relationship with our clients. These are a couple of reviews from some of our favorite clients that we've worked with. And you can also find additional reviews for us. We have reviews on Zillow. We have reviews on Google. We have reviews on Facebook. You can find us in any of those locations. So we absolutely love making sure our clients have a 5-star experience every step of the way. And ultimately, that's because we like to take a consultative approach in working with our clients. Again, it's not about us getting a sale, but it's making sure that we help you find the home that's going to best fit your needs, and you're going to be happy in it, right? So that's super important. Again, like I said before, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to contact us on 480-281-3078. You can also, like I said, leave a comment. We can answer any questions for you. Leave any comments. If you loved watching it, make sure you let us know. Give us a thumbs up. That we'd be happy to see that as well. And you can also email us, like I said, at info@nextviewre.com. Again, that's info@nextviewre.com. info@nextviewre.com. Thank you so much for watching our first-time home buyer video using 7 home buying strategies like a pro. I hope this information was valuable to you. Like I said, we're happy to answer any of your questions, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.